Hello everyone, my name is Gal Gidon Ben Avraham, and today we are doing this part in English. The 16 stars over here, which you see on this picture, this is the presidential symbol of Turkey. Erdogan's speeches, over there is the historical elite unit of warriors of the Incheris customizing themselves beyond Erdogan, not in a mistake. So the 16 stars are representing the 16 states or cognates which Turkey ruled over the past, and that's why Erdogan is so megalomaniac and dangerous. Turkey or Erdogan is the sun over here, and that's basically how it looks. And I will prove to you why this danger is so true. And basically those are parts that are between Siberia to the very heart of Europe of Vienna. All the Middle East, even places in Somalia, Libya, Iran, also South Russia, parts of West China, India somehow, and even because of the horns were also over here, so we also will see a map of the horns, like over here. That's basically how it looks. You see, into Europe, into the Balkans, the Bulgarians, the Hungarians, the Turkish nations in the Balkans. Over here, you see the Huns were also over here, so it's even bigger. Large parts of Russia, because there were a lot of Russian tribes, Turkish tribes in that area too, until the very heart of Siberia. This is Xinjiang, this blue one over here. Okay, and even in Iran, you have the Kashkayans in the southwest, and also the Sahara Turkomans over here in north of Iran. So that's that's what Turkey is aspiring to conquer. And how do we see it? We are seeing it through this: the union of all the Turkish states, which the one that rules it's Turkey themselves. That's the union, part of the countries with the same symbol, cooperation of Council of Turkic-speaking states, while Turkey is the one that manages it. Turkey is the sun over here, and they are basically ruling all those 16 countries in the 16 cognates and areas which we saw over here. And over here in the picture, we see all the 16. You have the Huns, you have the European Huns Empire. After that, they got to Turk, which there was still with the Tengrism religion. Then the Avars, the Caucasians, which they were also in Europe for a short time. Then the Khazar Empire, which was basically Judaism was the elite over there by choice. After that, the extreme Uyghurs, and then the Karahanim, the Karakhanids, which they in that time they started to split into 4 kingdomships, and then the Great Seljuk Empire. That's the time when they became Islamic. That's why they are so sympathized and identify themselves with the Seljuk Empire, because that's the time when the Oghuz Turks started to convert fully to Islam in Azerbaijan, in Kashkaistan, in Iran, in Turkey, in Anatolia, and also the Turks around the area of the Middle East and Southeast Europe later on. So if we are going to prove that this thing is true, that Erdogan is really conspiring to take all those places back, with this picture, a comic picture which basically trying to tell a story. Someone trying to tell us that, or to hint us that it's maybe true. How do we know that it's true? Let's see pictures of Neo Ottomanism. Neo Ottomanism means in Syria a Turkish flag. People that are more loyal to Turkey than to the Syrian flag. We see over here more Turkish flags than Iraqi flags. That's in Mersin, near Kirkuk, in Iraq, in the Turkomani Kurdish zone in Iraq. You see, they have even their own Neo Ottoman flag and identity. They are claiming to have a Turkish Turkoman country of their own under the rule of the Neo Ottomanism of Turkey. And that's why if you see flags like this of Neo Ottoman identities and people that are trying to claim to be a state after they are a group of people, you can see it, and then to understand that it's a big problem. Over here we can see also in Cyprus. That's in Cyprus, a Greek state. Now we have a Turkish state over there with a Cyprus Greek flag, identity of Cyprians Turks. And that's the same thing with Iraq. We saw the same thing in Syria. The same thing is in Bosnia and in the Balkans. That's in Tyrrhenia, in Albania. More loyalty to the Turkish Ottoman state with Albanian flags. They are more loyal to the Neo Ottomanism. That's their first father. Over you see the architecture look exactly like what? Hagia Sophia. So Turkey is basically the sun from the picture with the 16 countries. They are trying to show that they are going all hardcore with Islam in every opportunity, and even if they have ties on them, Islam is something which is very important to show. And if we can see another thing, that's basically the Ottoman era, which they claim parts of Europe, big parts of Europe, most of all the Balkanian countries, Turkey itself, the Middle East, and large parts of North Africa, and large parts in Asia, and also in the Caucasus. That was the biggest rule or a kingdomship empire. The biggest that they had was in the Ottoman era. But even other empires which they had, like the Huns or the Uyghurs, they also are claiming it. If we go into the Uyghurs are more loyal to the Turkish Uyguric flag, what they call Turkestan, than to China. They don't accept the rule of China, so they are more loyal to the Neo-Ottomanism over here, and that's why they are also using jihad in order to take those places back and to reclaim them. And why United States is also supporting Erdogan and his Neo-Ottomanism? Because they had never attacked a Protestant state. They never fought against Germany, not against Great Britain, not against United States. They only fought countries which are less important to United States and are not dominantly Protestant. So they were loyal to them. That's something that starts from the 16th century with Martin Luther and John Calvin, which they met Sultan Murad III, and they told them they are fighting the infidels, the Catholics and the Orthodox. They said they are infidels, they have iconic figures and statues in their own rituals and sacraments in church. We even don't have Jesus Christ on our cross because it's a foreign worship. We don't have it. You also have Isa, which basically is Jesus. And we have the same God. We are not infidels. We are fighting against them because they are considered infidels to us. We are breaking their iconic figures and churches. So the Turkish Sultan accepted that Protestantism is not infidelity and Catholics and Orthodox are. That's why there is the connection between Germany and United States, mainline Protestant churches, against those Catholics and Orthodox, which they politically fight against. part of the strategic international relationship strategies. Turkey is a proxy and an ally to the Protestantic states. There was even something that was called the Dutch Revolt. They had a famous sentence which was liever paps das Turks, like it's better to live under a smart Turk than a stupid Christian. Then they meant for an Orthodox or Catholic Christian. And then they saw that basically they are using the Turks very smartly against the Catholics, which they try to rebel against them in all of Europe in order to be liberated from the rule of Catholicism and the Catholic French and Spanish king. So that's why the Turks were allies in order to do that, and they fought in order to conquer those places. So then the Protestants in Germany and in Netherlands and all those places saw them as liberated, and that's how the cooperation between Turkish Islam and mainline Protestantic countries with the Protestantic rule is so strong until today. That's why Trump is favoring Erdogan, and that's why we need to fear from this cooperation, which they don't fully understand, that if they will be radicalized like the Uyghurs, which are identified with ISIS, the whole world, half of the world, will be radicalized toward Islam. And the thing is that most of South Russia, most of the districts are full with oil. Also Chechnya. United States is trying to take this oil in order to have advantage on China and also Russia. The thing is that also West China, what they call Turkestan, the Uyghurs or Xinjiang, it's the place that is full with most of the oil of China. It's in the Uyghurs district, and that's why United States is doing a mistake that they are using political and even sometimes radical Islam in an excuse of democracy and freedom, like they support the Uyghurs. It's not that they don't deserve freedom, rights, and liberty, but they are even supporting the radicalization of them in order to make a deal afterwards, after they will come from a district into free countries, free Islamic countries in Europe and Western, in China and South Russia, and then with those new states that will rise and be founded, then United States will make a deal on the oil which they are so rich with. Thank you very much everyone for listening, and keep following my channels. And if you have question or something, my phone number is usually on Twitter. Thank you very much for listening, guys.